Hi everyone, back here with me again. As I mentioned in the previous video, the one about the squash stew, I promised I would definitely show you the recipe for dill sauce or dill gravy, which is absolutely delicious, by the way, with fish or meats as well. This time I'll be making it for you with chicken breast. I'll tell you the ingredients in a moment, but the most important thing, which I never mention at the beginning of the video, is please subscribe to the channel because you really enjoy it and watch it a lot. I'm already at 30,000 viewers, but I still need more subscribers. So let's quickly look at the ingredients. This is an all-white dish, as you can see. Onion, garlic, 3 tablespoons of sour cream, 1 tablespoon of flour, half a tablespoon of granulated sugar, the dill itself, which here is 2 bunches, 100 grams of butter, salt, white pepper, and half a liter of milk are what we'll need. And as you can see now, I snuck in a little white wine as well, which is optional, but it gives an incredibly delicious flavor. So here comes my favorite onion chopper. You see this in every single one of my videos. I really love it. I use it for everything now. Not just this, by the way. It chops garlic and basically anything else as well. I put 4 cloves of garlic in this dish, but feel free to use just 2. And if you want, 1 onion is enough as well. It depends on how thick you want it or how much of an onion flavor you prefer. I personally prefer it thicker, but try both ways and see which you like better. Look at how beautifully it chops. Actually, I put it back in to chop it even more. And honestly, I could never cut the garlic or the onion this finely with a knife. Plus, because it's chopped so finely, it thickens the dish much better. So I take this tea butter, which is actually 100 grams, and quickly put it into the preheated pan. I wait until it melts. The butter will melt in just a few seconds. Be sure to watch it so it doesn't burn because that will ruin the flavor of the dish. As soon as it melts, you can immediately add all the onions and then you can add the garlic as well. You need to stir it and I let it cook or saute for about 3 to 4 minutes. And you should get started on the next step right away because thankfully this is a quick dish. I'll quickly start making the roux. So I put in 3 tablespoons of sour cream. You know I like to prepare dishes with sour cream. I added 1 heaping tablespoon of flour and I'm going to pour in about 1 deciliter of milk from the half liter and I'll do the first mixing like this. Of course, you have to mix it until it's smooth with no lumps and I'll keep adding the rest of the milk gradually. You'll see that at the beginning I always stir it carefully because it can splash out of the bowl. But as you can see, I'm mixing the flour lumps nicely and again I add a bit more milk. Now I think I'm at about 2 to 3 deciliters of milk. I mix this until it's lump-free as well, and at the end I'll basically just add the remaining milk from the container. You can see now it has a nice milky consistency too. Meanwhile, I can already smell that wonderful buttery, garlicky onion aroma in the kitchen. It smells absolutely amazing. It's time for me to start chopping the dill. So I have 2 bunches of dill here, and I always cut off the ends. Some people put them in, but I don't really like that. And then chop it as finely as you can. Obviously, I didn't record the whole process, but you need to chop it really finely. By the way, I realized that next time I'll try using the food processor because I think it will chop it perfectly fine for me too. So I quickly chopped up the dill and added it all to the onions, and I let this buttery, garlicky dill base cook together for about 4 to 5 minutes to blend and simmer, and then right after that, our milk-based roux will go in. I forgot to mention that the milk, of course, is cold, the one I used to mix the flour and the sour cream, because if it had been warm, it would have thickened already. I take the base and add a couple of spoonfuls of it into the roux. Because of the onion, this base turned out a bit thicker for me. If you make it with just 1 onion, this oniony, buttery, garlicky base you're making will be much more buttery. I mix it quickly and immediately pour it into the pot right away. And here you'll need to be quick because the flour will start to, well, there's no other way to say it, set incredibly fast. It's important that if it turns out a bit too thick for you, you can simply add some milk to thin it out and adjust the consistency to whatever you find comfortable so that the texture is pleasant for you when you eat it. Now you can add half a spoonful of granulated sugar and the salt. Don't be stingy with it. I put granulated sugar in here because it actually goes really well with this dish. And here's about 5 centiliters of white wine, which I also pour in. And then basically you just need to taste it and season with more salt and pepper to your liking. I definitely wouldn't add any more sugar, but sugar actually suits this dish very well. However, I don't usually put it in squash stew, and now it's about time to start working on the chicken breast. I did end up adding a little bit of extra salt at the end. If you want it to be a bit thinner, you can add a little more milk, but as it is, this has turned into a perfectly textured dill sauce, or rather a dill gravy. Now let's move on to the chicken breast. I'm not really a chicken breast person. I prefer juicier meats, but of course I do eat chicken breast, just only if it's tender and not some terribly overcooked dry piece like the sole of a shoe. Here I took 4 or 5 tablespoons of goose fat, heated it up in the pan, and put the chicken breasts in whole. I'll show you how to cook truly juicy, perfect chicken breast. You cook the chicken breast like this for about 4 or 5 minutes on just one side, and around halfway through, I'm going to add 100 grams of butter. The butter is what will give this chicken that beautiful caramelized texture and that wonderful flavor. I only put salt and pepper on it because I don't want any spices to overpower the flavor of the meat. I want the dill sauce to be the dominant flavor in this dish. The 5 minutes are up. Look at how amazing this meat is. It's incredible, and it smells really, really good too. The butter does wonders for it, and now I'm going to cook it again for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I put the lid on and turn the heat down to low, let it cook for another 4 or 5 minutes, then take it off the heat, add some fresh parsley, and basically our meat is ready. Meanwhile, as you saw, I already put the potatoes in the oven. I cut them into small cubes, mixed them with a little oil, salted them, and put them in the oven to bake as roasted potatoes. So actually what I want to show you here is just how juicy and tender this chicken breast is. It's incredibly delicious. You have to try it. It's so much better than when chicken is fried paper thin and ends up as a tasteless, tough disaster. This is what's incredibly delicious. And well, now it's time to serve because the family is hungry. I think this is a really tasty dish. Try it even with fish, but honestly, even without meat, just with potatoes or rice, it can be a really delicious meal. We haven't made this in a really long time, and we really had to think about the recipe, how exactly to make it. But I promised you that I would bring you this recipe. So here is the masterpiece. I think it turned out really beautiful, and the taste is incredibly delicious too. Actually, the whole batch was gone in just one sitting. I look forward to seeing you next time in another video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Bye. And I hope you'll try out the recipe you see here and let me know how it turned out for you or what your favorite dish is or how you usually make this. Bye.